Hello Internet, I am the hero Julius once again with another One Piece chapter summary. This week's chapter is chapter 1046, Raizo. The art for this chapter continues the Germa 66 emotionless voyage with two intruders arriving on Pudding's territory in Chocolate Town. Now, these could possibly be Ichiji and Reiju here to save their brothers. It could also be the Sun Pirates, possibly, since we really don't know what happened to them once Jinbe got away. We know the Germa 66 survived, or at least survived and two got captured, but we don't know what happened to the Sun Pirates, and I'm kind of hoping that this cover story explains that in addition to what happens to, well, the Germa 66. But enough about that. Let's get into the actual chapter itself, which starts with Luffy bouncing around and trying to come up with a name for that face punch he ended the last chapter on. He's trying to call it Gum Gum something, as he puts it, and he's still laughing to himself, having a great time. But Kaido mentions to Luffy that, hey, this is an interesting transformation you got going on here. And meanwhile, Zunisha is looking on and saying, Joy Boy, I feel this nostalgic presence. I think this is the one we can trust the future to, confirming my theory and the theory of others that Joy Boy is in fact a title. Now, this doesn't mean Joy Boy's name couldn't actually be Joy Boy and it is now a title rightfully passed on to Luffy. But if it isn't, I'm going to guess when we get the inevitable Joy Boy Eam flashback that we'll get the real name of Joy Boy, or we'll just find out Joy Boy was his name all along. Cutting back to Luffy and Kaido, Kaido mentions that if the smoke and the fires, like the licks of flames, are starting to reach the top of the dome, that means the fires down there are a horrible, godforsaken inferno, and most of your crew is probably dead, Luffy. To which Luffy responds with, I left everything down there to them. The only thing I have to worry about is knocking you off this map. And he does. He starts, going at it with Kaido again. After that, we get a montage. We see Chopper and Nami. They reach each other and they're talking about Luffy. You see Usopp make this little sprinkler plant that just immediately erupts in flames. Frankie is holding on to Zoro, telling the others, we have to get to Chopper. Zoro is on the brink. Meanwhile, Sanji is with the courtesans and trying to get them to safety, only to realize that the garden is gone because Onigashima's, up here, so there's really no safe place to jump to. Finally, some samurai catch up with Robin and Brook, even going as far as to think Brook is burnt to nothing but bones, skull joke. But the most important interaction here is Raizo and Jinbe. When we last left Raizo, he had, Jinbe had discovered him and said, oh, hey, you're on fire. And Raizo went, it's fine. It seems they put out the fire on Raizo. But Raizo tells Jinbe the preparations are complete. Well, now we see the result of those preparations. Raizo has two flashbacks as he's standing across from Jinbe. His first flashback is when he was running through Kozuki Castle and looking for Hiyori and Momo and Toki, and telling himself, I will not be unprepared again. I will not let this happen again. We were vastly unprepared, and I'm not going to let that happen again. His second flashback takes us to his time on Zou, where he watches Zunisha, do the big elephant bath and flood the entirety of the Mink Kingdom, and asks them if he can borrow some of that. Because Raizo has the power of the scroll fruit, and he's able to store things in his scrolls. So I know what you're thinking. Where does Jinbe fall into this? Well, as Raizo's standing across from Jinbe, he says, I'm very glad that I can put my trust into you on this. And Jinbe goes, well, Luffy puts his trust in you, so I'm going to trust you as well. Because this is the first time these two characters have met. They literally, it's like old, it's like, you know, it's like your old Facebook friends where it's like, well, I've never met this guy, but we are mutual friends with Luffy, so you're probably trustworthy if Luffy friended you. So as they stand across from each other, Raizo opens his scroll and unleashes the entire an entire Zunisha bath flood right at Jinbe. Jinbe has Fishman Jiu-Jitsu and Fishman Karate, and he does his ocean current shoulder throw and sends the water throughout Onigashima. Now, this is a combo that needs to be pulled off by a true master of Fishman Karate, because I don't know about you, but there's a lot of zone type smile users, not to mention all the other devil fruit users here. If this goes wrong, someone's getting water spouted to the valley below. Fortunately, we got Jinbe on this, and him and Raizo, they basically wash away the flood. Could this save Orochi? Maybe. Is it worth it to save everyone else? Probably, yeah. So with the fire no longer being a problem, and not to say that the fire was washed away by convenience, because actually it all adds up to that Raizo and Jinbe were the ones that could pull something like this off, we get two last things. We get Momonosuke being told by Yamato, you have to make some flames, because the flames Kaido made, you can control them, that's great, but you have to make some of your own now, because Kaido's flames are about to disappear. And as we look over, we see Luffy flying above Kaido up in the air, Kaido getting ready to fight him, and Luffy just grabs a lightning bolt out of the sky. And Yamato tells Momonosuke, Onigashima is about to fall because Kaido is about to fall. So whatever Luffy's about to do, it's gonna be big. I've heard other people say that maybe Kaido's gonna get his one up on Luffy. I think it's gonna be more of a Wapple scenario. Well, yeah, I think what's gonna happen is as Luffy delivers the final blow on Kaido, Kaido will have a flashback during that moment. His flashback to when he was a little boy, to when he joined the Rocks Pirates. Maybe we'll get a Rocks flashback, learn a little more about that pirate crew. Then we'll get Kaido as a man, and then we'll get Kaido after Odin was defeated, and then we'll get Kaido being defeated by Luffy. So, regardless of how it turns out, whether this is Luffy defeating Kaido or if Kaido gets the upper hand, brace yourselves, because I think in the next few chapters, we're going to start that Kaido flashback. But for now, we do not have a chapter next week, as far as I know. So, I'll come up with something for our video next week. Look forward to that. Thank you for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video. This is the Hero of Julios, Xing out.